Okay, ma, shall we start? Yes, good morning. Very Sai. Sick. Today sick, huh? Okay. Oh, I watch. Okay. What's your name, ma? Madhulika. Okay. Right. So, what was our previous discussion? Where we ended our yesterday's session? Cost sheet. I think we discussed and completed the discussion with respect to cost sheet. Okay. I think today we are going to solve problems. So, before we are entering to problem solvation, let's have a quick revision in the context of cost sheet. So, what I have told you in the end of our yesterday's session, I told you to ask questions in the context of cost sheet. And if anyone fails to answer my questions, they need to face what? Obviously, imposition. So, very good. First of all, tell me the structure of cost sheet. Cost sheet divided into how many parts? 3 parts or 2 parts? Simply 2 parts. First part with related to direct expenses. Second part related to indirect expenses. Indirect expenses we will call it as overheads. Okay. So indirect expenses will call as overheads. So basically 2 parts are there in the entire cost sheet. So listen, cost sheet 2 parts respect to direct expenses and with respect to indirect expense. Direct expenses part we will name it as the ultimate result will be name it as prime cost. But indirect expenses or overheads are of how many types? 3 types. Factory overheads, administrative overheads, and selling and distribution overheads. And prime cost also composites 3 types of direct expenses. One, direct material consumed, direct labor, direct expenses. Very good. You know the cost sheet, ma? Very good. So, these are the components of prime cost: direct material consumed, direct labor, and direct expenses. And there is no formula for direct labor and direct expenses, but there is a formula for direct material consumed. Have a formula for the calculation of direct material consumed. So, how we can arrive at direct material consumed? What is the formula? There is a simple formula, and the formula goes on like this: opening stock of raw material plus purchases of raw material during the year plus direct expenses with connection to purchase. Example, carriage inward. Direct expenses with respect to purchase means carriage inward. Generally, these kind of direct expenses, they won't give in problem, but on a exceptional case or rarely they will give. So if they provided such kind of information in the problem, you have to add it. Otherwise, you please ignore. Next one, we have to deduct something. We have to deduct what? Closing stock. So opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenses with respect to purchases minus closing stock. So then we will arrive at direct material consumed. Direct material consumed. So after calculation of direct material consumed, we will add direct labor and we will add direct expenses also. The summation will gives rise to prime cost. Prime cost. So after we have arrived at prime cost, 50% of cost sheet is completed. Remaining 50% we will deal with the indirect expenses, or we will simply call them as overheads. How many types of overheads are there? three types of overheads. One is fixed overheads, second one is administrative overheads, and the third one is selling and distribution overheads. Selling and distribution overheads. And how many adjustments are there in cost sheet? How many adjustments? Only two adjustments, and the adjustments are simply addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction. And there is no adjustment in selling and distribution overheads. We will face with adjustments only in two cases or two steps, at finished or sorry at factory overheads and at administrative overheads. So adjustment means we have to add something and we have to deduct something. At factory overheads, what we need to add and what we need to deduct? Opening work in progress we need to add, and closing work in progress we need to deduct. Okay, and at administrative overheads, what we need to add and what we need to deduct? Opening stock of finished goods we need to add, and closing stock of finished goods we need to deduct. So these are the two adjustments. These are the two adjustments. And listen carefully. Before adjustment, the result at factory overheads, the result will be called as gross works cost. Gross works cost. And after adjustment, the result will be called as net works cost. Udbhav is not participating. What are you thinking about? How to say answers? Okay. So at administrative overheads also, we have to make one adjustment, right? So before adjustment, the result will be called as cost of production. And after adjustment, the result will be called as cost of goods sold. And at selling and distribution overheads, the result will be called as cost of sales. If we add profit to the cost of sales, it will give rise to profit. Oh, sorry. If we add profit to the cost of sales, it will give rise to sales. Okay. So this is the ultimate cost sheet discussion which we have completed in our yesterday's session. This is the entire format. Look at this format once more in a careful way. Why? Because we are going to solve problems with respect to cost sheet. So first step is what? Direct material consumed. For direct material consumed, what we have discussed? Opening stock of raw material plus purchases plus direct expenses minus closing stock of raw material. In case of direct expenses, if the problem is furnished with kind of data, then only we have to consider. Otherwise, we will ignore. Sir, what are direct expenses with related to purchase, sir? Carriage inward. The major, and in majority cases, they will furnish with only carriage inward. And if the problem contains carriage outward, we have to consider it in selling and distribution overheads. Why? Because when we will incur carriage outward for marketing purpose, whenever we are delivering goods after production, right? So we will deliver the goods at marketing stage only, at selling stage only. Simply we will call it selling stage. So that is why if carriage outward is given, we have to consider it in selling and distribution overheads. If carriage inward is given, we have to consider in direct material consumed. You should be able to appreciate the difference between these two cases. Carriage inward case, carriage outward. And the second one is direct labor cost. Third one is direct expenses. Gives rise to prime cost. 3% of cost sheet is done. Next one, factory overheads. If we add prime cost to factory overheads to prime cost, will gives rise to gross works cost. And now we have to do one adjustment. Adjustment which related to work in progress. We have to add something and we have to deduct something. What we need to add? Opening stock of work in progress. What we need to deduct? Closing stock of work in progress. And the result will be net works cost. And administrative overheads. The result will be called as cost of production. Again, we need to do some adjustment. Add opening stock of finished goods. Deduct closing stock of finished goods. It will give rise to cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. Okay. So after that, we have to add selling and distribution overheads. The result will be cost of sales. If we add profit to cost of sales, we will get the ultimate result of cost sheet, which is sales. Simple. Okay. So sometimes the problem will be provided with sales and cost of sales. The missing figure is profit. Okay. So we will call it as missing figure or balancing figure. Missing figure or balancing. Okay. This is the discussion with respect to cost sheet. So let's quickly solve a problem with respect to cost sheet. Okay. So this is the problem which is given in your ICMA board material. So let's start solving the problem. So first of all, solvation of problems begins with understanding the problem first. Irrespective of the content, you have to give a brief reading of the problem first. Then only you will be able to understand the problem, what kind of data he has been given and all. Some people, what they will do, say for example, they will start reading the problem, and after 2 steps they'll start solving the problem, and examiner will try to give the partial information first and the crucial information next. He might give some crucial information for the solvation of problem at the last stage also. So that is why you have to read the problem thoroughly at first stage. After that, you will be able to understand the data given in the problem. Then only you should start solving the problem. Okay, right. Listen carefully. What is the company name? MNQ LLP. LLP means Limited Liability Partnership. Limited Liability Partnership. So MNQ LLP submits the following information on 31st March 2022. 31st March 2022. Based on the given data, prepare a statement of cost. Okay. Statement of cost means nothing but cost sheet. Both are same. Statement of cost or cost sheet, both are same. Okay. First of all, sales has been given. So sales has been given means the ultimate result we arrived at, but he might ask profit and all. So first of all, we will start reading the problem. Okay. First one, inventories at the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year means opening stock. Inventories at the beginning of the year. So what kind of inventories has been given? Finished goods and work in progress. Both finished goods and work in progress we are going to use in our cost sheet. Teja, tell me when we are going to use work in progress and when we are going to use finished good. Forget about opening stock or closing stock. I'm asking about stage. At which stage we are going to do adjustment in the context of work in progress, and which stage we will do adjustment with respect to finished goods. I'll give a clue with respect to overheads. With respect to which overhead we are going to do adjustment of work in progress adjustment. Opening, add, closing, deduct. Udbhav, tell me. Very good. Yes. That is a simple question I have asked. This is the entire cost sheet. What is this? Teja, read. What is this? Kada? This is what we call adjustment. Simply we will call it as adjustment. Where we have done this adjustment? That is what I have asked. Okay. And listen. What is this? Where we have done it? That is the question I have. You should be able to answer my next questions, if any. Okay. Okay. Next one. What is this? Read out. Inventories at the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year means closing stock. Huh? Opening stock. What kind of opening stock he has been given? Finished goods opening stock he has been given. Work in progress opening stock also has been given. Okay, right. Next one. Purchase of material during the year. Purchase of material during the year. Purchases means we will use in direct material consumption calculation. Okay, and next, material inventory has been given at the beginning of the year as well as end of the year. So, opening stock of material, closing stock of material, purchases has been given. We will use in which formula? Prime cost formula? No, direct material consumed formula. There is a formula for direct material consumed, right? This formula we are going to use. What is the formula? Opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenses minus closing stock. We have been given with opening stock, we have been given with purchases, we have been given with closing stock. Let's complete reading with respect to problem. Then we might find the direct expenses also. If there is no direct expense, we will simply ignore. What we are supposed to do, if the problem has been given is direct expenses, we will simply ignore. Okay, next one. Listen. What is now I have written. Okay, so what is this ma? Purchase of material, and this is opening stock of material, and this is closing stock of material. So by solving this equation, we will get direct material consumed figure. We'll get the result with respect to direct material consumed. Close. Next one, direct labor. Direct labor, when we are going to use the calculation of prime cost. In prime cost, three components will be there: DM, DL, DE. DM, direct message, direct material cost. DL, direct labor. DE, direct expense. So DL has been given, and in this stage DM has been given. So we get DM, DL. Okay, very good. Next, factory overheads. When we are going to use factory overheads? Just after the prime cost. After prime cost, we will add factory overheads. Okay, this is factory overheads. How much percentage? 60% of what? Direct labor cost is 65,000 ma. So 65,000 into 60%. Somewhere around 39,000 it will come. Use calculator. Where is calculator? 65,000 into 60% is 39,000 if I am not wrong. 39,000. Okay. Where is your calculator, Teja? Yeah. Konava? Purchase cheyaleda? You have to purchase by today. Okay. By Monday, everyone should have calculator. You have calculator. It is own calculator. Very good. So next one. What is this? Factory overheads. How much percentage ma? 60% of direct labor cost. So 65,000 into 60% we have to do, and the result will be 39,000 factory overheads. Next one, inventories at the end of the year. Finished goods, work in progress given. End means closing stock. Here what it is written? Beginning. Here it means it is opening stock. This is closing stock. Opening stock of work in progress given. Closing stock of work in progress given. Opening stock of finished goods given. Closing stock of finished goods given. We have everything what we need to solve the problem. Next, other expenses for the year has been given like this. Selling expenses 10% of sales. Selling expenses means where we should written, where we should write it, where we should write selling expenses. Yes, S&D overheads. In selling and distribution overheads, we have to write it 10% of sales. And where we should write administrative expenses at administrative overheads. Simply We got everything we need to solve the problem. Okay, I'll do one thing. Are you able to see the problem? Very good. So here I'll solve cost sheet. First of all, direct material consumed. Direct material consumed. So what is direct material consumed? It will go like this. Say for example, opening stock of raw material. How much ma? 3,000. Closing stock of raw material 4,000 and purchases 1,10,000. So what we are supposed to do? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. So opening stock is 3,000. Purchases is 1,10,000 minus closing stock is 4,000. So it will be 1,09,000, right? 1,09,000. Everybody following? So how we have arrived at direct material consumed? We will simply add purchases to the opening stock and we will simply deduct closing stock from the result and it will be 1,09,000. And next, direct labor. So how much is direct labor? 65,000. So 65,000 we have to write. And we have to add direct expenses. But in the entire problem, there is no discussion with respect to direct expenses. We have to consider 0. So what is the result? This result will be called as what ma? Prime cost. And it will be 1,74,000. 1,74,000. 1,74,000 prime cost. To prime cost, what we need to add? Factory overheads we need to add. How much is factory overheads? 60% of direct labor cost. Direct labor cost is 65,000 and to this 65,000 we have to calculate 60% of it and it will be 39,000. How much ma? Factory overheads 39,000. The result will be called as gross works cost. It will be how much? 2 lakhs? 2 lakh 13,000. So 1,74,000 plus 39,000 how much? 2 lakh 213. Okay, very good. So to this gross works cost, what we need to do? We have to do a simple adjustment and the adjustment goes on like this. Add opening work in progress and deduct closing work in progress. So opening work in progress is how much ma? Opening work in progress here. Opening work in progress is 4,000 and closing work in progress means here 1,000. I have to deduct 1,000. So the result will be how much? 2 lakh 2,11,000. And this result will be called as net works cost. Net works cost. We'll do one thing. Now net works cost has been arrived. Next, after that, what we need to do? to net works cost. Let's erase all the lines. Okay, next one. After arriving at net works cost, what we need to do? We have to calculate, or we have to add what? Administrative overheads. Administrative overheads. How much is administrative overheads? So administrative overheads, he has been simply written it as 5% of sales, and the sales are 2,75,000. Sales are how much, ma? 2,75,000. 2,75,000. So listen, 2,75,000 into 2,75,000 into 5% means how much? 13,000. You should say clearly and loudly. 13,750. So the result will be called as, after adding administrative overheads to networks cost, the result will be called as cost of production. Cost of production. How much it is? 224. 224 750. 24 750. Okay. To this cost of production, we have to do again one small adjustment. Adjustment means again we have to add something and we have to deduct something. What we need to add? Opening stock of finished goods we need to add. What we need to deduct? Closing stock of finished goods we need to deduct. Okay. So opening stock of finished goods. How much? Opening stock of finished goods 7,000. Closing stock of finished goods 8,000. 8,000 we need to deduct. And the result will be called as cost of goods sold. Very good. The result is figure is 2,23,750. This will be cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. Okay. Next one. To cost of goods sold, what we need to do? We have to add selling and distribution overheads, and in the problem it is clearly given as selling and distribution is 10% of sales. So 2,75,000 into 10% means 27,500, and the result is cost of sales. How much is the result? 2 lakh 51,000 51,250. 2,51,250. This is cost of sale. And to cost of sales, what we need to do? We have to add profit. Have to add what? Profit. And after addition of profit, the result will be sales. In the problem, he is furnished with sales 2,75,000. We know these two figures. It means the profit will be the missing figure. So what must be the missing figure? That is simply the difference between 2,51,250 and 2,75,000. How much? 23,750. The answer same for everyone. The difference between cost of sales as well as sales, 2,51,250 and 2,75,000. That is simply will be called as profit to the company with respect to this product. So if you are able to understand the each and every step in the discussion with respect to problem, the majority points in the cost sheet already understood by you. Okay, are you able to understand each and every point in the problem? It Oh, the previous one has been deleted. No problem. So this is the answer with respect to problem number 1. This is problem number 1. Okay. This is the entire cost sheet and all. So once again, let's quickly read out the structure with respect to cost sheet. So this is the entire cost sheet, and quickly read out the structure with respect to cost sheet. So first of all, what we need to consider: direct material consumed. What is the formula for direct material consumed? Opening stock of raw material plus purchases during the year plus direct expenses, if any, furnished in the problem, minus closing stock of raw material. Second one, direct labor cost. Direct labor cost. What is the formula for direct labor cost? There is no formula. According to the problem, we have to consider. And what is the formula for direct expense? No formula. Okay, there is only formula for direct material consumed only. And after addition of these three, what we will get? Prime cost we will get. Next one, to prime cost, what we need to do? We have to add factory overheads. And after addition of factory overheads, the result will be called as gross works cost, and we have to do an adjustment. Addition, subtraction. The result will be net works cost. And again, administration. Result is cost of production. And adjustment. Result is COGS. Selling and distribution. Result is cost of sales. We have to add profit and we will get sales. So this is the entire discussion with respect to cost sheet, and we will solve another problem also. This is another illustration. What I am going to do is, just after explaining this problem, I am going to give this problem as a homework, and nothing to worry. If you are unable to solve this problem, I am going to discuss in class only. Okay, first of all, you have to try whether you are able to solve the problem or not. You have to try. So I'll now explain, and after that, I'm going to give a small work for all of you. Listen. First of all, let's quickly understand illustration number 6. This is also a question which is there in your board material. Okay. Remember one thing. If you are able to solve each and every problem there in your ICMA board material, you won't just pass, or you won't get just an exemption. You will be able to score minimum 80 plus. You should be able to write 100 marks, but how much you will get depends on your answers. How qualitatively you will provide the answer, this is up to you, right? So you will be able to write 100 plus marks. The question paper will be for 120 plus marks, because choice also there, right? 128 marks. You know the paper structure. Do you know the paper structure of CMA Inter? I think in first class Banu sir already explained. The paper structure will goes on like this. First of all, they will give question number 1. They'll give question number 1. This contains 15 MCQs, and each MCQ contains 2 marks. 15 into 2, 30 marks. After that, in section B start. This is section A, and section B will start. In section B, you will face 7 questions. Generally, these 7 questions will be subdivided into 2 parts. That means each and every question contains 2 sub questions. Okay, so each and every question carries 14 marks. Generally, they will give 7 marks and 7 marks. Out of these 7 questions, you have to write 5 questions. So I have already told you 5 questions into 14 marks. How much ma 5 into 14? 70. So 30 plus 70, how much? 100 marks. is your entire question paper. And you have choice with respect to 2 questions. Out of 7 questions, how many questions you need to write? Only 5. That means 2 questions you will get the name of choice. 2 questions means each question carries 14 marks. 14 into 2, 28. That means the question paper will be given for 128 marks. Out of 128 marks, how many marks you will score in a maximum way? 100 marks. That is the criteria. So if you are able to cover each and every question in your ICMA board book, you will get 128 marks from that book only at interstage. At interstage, not from final stage. Final stage, they will try to trick the students from other resources also, not in a major way. Some few questions they will ask from other resources also. Generally, what students will do, they will take choice. Have choice, right? 2 questions you can take choice. Nothing to worry. Even though they will ask from other resource. Other resources means not from internet or America syllabus. No, it is from previous questions only. But on a tricky and difficult manner, they will try to test. Okay, that is with respect to final level. You are studying inter. In inter, majority cases, 128 marks out of 128 marks come directly from your ICMA resources only. Clear? So after that, 100 marks you will get out of 128 marks. Have to write for 100 marks. So that's why. Listen carefully. Illustration number 6. Actually, these things are we have already discussed in the earlier sessions. First session also Bhanus are covered. Okay. I hope some people are there in first session and some are not there. That's why I again reiterated the same. So illustration number 6. What is illustration number 6? Listen. Read out the illustration. The following are the cost records for the year 2021 of a manufacturer. So the following are the cost records of a manufacturer pertaining to the year what? 2021. Okay. The production is how many units, ma? 10,000 units. Shall I magnify it? Now, is it visible clearly? So production is how many units? 10,000 units. Okay. Cost of raw material 2 lakhs. How many units he has produced? 10,000 units. For that 10,000 units, how much raw material he has spent? 2 lakhs raw material. And labor 1,20,000. You know what to do. Direct material plus direct labor comes up to 3,25,000. It will be called as direct expenses not given. Okay, let's see first of all. Next, factory overheads. How much? 80,000. How much is factory overheads? 80,000. Next, office overheads. Nothing but administration overheads. 40,000. Selling expenses means selling and distribution overheads. And rate of profit is 25% on the selling price. And the manufacturer decided to produce 15,000 units in 2022. This is the records with respect to 2021. But now in 2022, he wished to produce more than 10,000. How much more than 10,000? He has been clearly given. 15,000 he wishes to produce. 15,000 units. It is estimated that the cost of raw materials will increase by 20%. Labor cost will increase by 10%. 50% of the overhead charges are fixed and the other 50% are variable. The selling expenses per unit will be reduced by 20%. The rate of profit will remain the same. How much is the rate of profit? 25%. It will be remain same. Prepare a cost statement for the year 2022 showing the total profit and selling price per unit. Very easy question. Sir, how it is easy, sir? Listen carefully. Yes, listen carefully. First of all, production how much, ma? 10,000. Okay, production, how many units he has produced? 10,000. For production of 10,000 units, how much he spent in the name of raw material? 2 lakhs. What it indicates? Cost per unit is 20. Raw material cost per unit is how much? 20, right? Why? Because if you divide 2 lakhs by 10,000, how much it will give? 20. That means cost per unit of raw material enta? 20. So raw material consumed 2 lakhs. This is total cost, and the cost per unit is, and listen, labor cost. Labor cost how much? 1 lakh 20,000. 1 lakh 20,000. And next one, labor cost is how much? For 10,000 units, how much it will be? 12 rupee. Okay, next. Direct material, this is direct labor. No information with respect to direct expenses. So direct expenses 0. And the result is, we will call how much ma? 3 lakhs 20,000. 3 lakhs 20,000. Okay, so 32 rupees prime cost. Is what? Prime cost per unit. And just after arriving at prime cost, what we need to do? We have to add factory overheads. How much is factory overheads? Factory overheads is 80,000. Factory overheads is 80,000. For 10,000 units, it will be 80,000. Then for 1 unit, it will be 8. Next, after factory overheads, there is no information with respect to closing work in progress, opening work in progress and all. So the result will be called as net works cost, and the result is how much? Result is how much ma? 4 lakhs. Result is 4 lakhs. So after we have arrived at net works cost, that is 4 lakhs, what we need to do? We have to add administrative overheads. How much is administration overheads? It has been given in the name of office overheads, and it is around 40,000. How much? 40,000. 40,000 means per unit it will be 4. Okay. So the result will be 4 lakh 40,000, and we will call this 4 lakh 40,000 by the name of cost of goods sold. Why? Because there is no information with respect to finished goods opening, closing and all. That is why by final result we will call it as cost of goods sold. And after that we have to add selling and distribution overheads. And selling and distribution overheads are how much? 10,000. 10,000 means 1 rupee. Selling and distribution overheads. And it will give rise to cost of sales. How much? 4 lakh 50,000. 4 lakh 1,000. 4 lakh 50,000. And the result will be sales. Sorry, have to add profit, right? So to cost of sales, we will add profit. And with respect to profit, it has been given as rate of profit is 25% on the selling price. Do you know? 25% on selling price means how much on cost? 25% on selling price. Do you know cost plus profit is equal to sale? Do you know it? So 25% on selling price. Percentage on selling price. It means how much on cost? This is foundation level example. In accounts, you will try to solve many MCQs with respect to this. 50% on selling price means how much percentage on cost. I will give a clue. Actually, this is the homework problem. I will give a simple clue. You can solve that by the simple formula cost plus profit is equal to sale. Solve it. If you are unable to solve it, I am going to solve in the class only. Okay. So listen carefully. So this is all current data. current data, but he is asking you to prepare cost sheet with respect to 2022, that is for coming year. So depending upon the provided data and adjustments you have to do. What are the adjustments? It is estimated that cost of raw materials will increase by 20%. That means you have to add a 20% to this 20 rupees. 20 rupees into 20% means 4 rupee. So 20 plus 4, how much ma? 24 rupee per unit. He is going to produce how many units? 15,000. So 15,000 into 24, how much? 3 lakh 60,000. So the ultimate cost is 3.6 lakhs. In this way, you have to solve the problem. This is your homework. And next, the labor cost will increase by 10%. How much labor cost? 12. Okay, so 12 into 10% means 1.2, right? That means 12 plus 1.2, 13.2. 13.2 into how many units? 15,000 units. Solve it. 15,000 into 13.2. 1 lakh 98,000. 1.98 lakh. So this will sums up to prime cost. Okay, 4 lakh 58,000 something it will come. And next you have to do in the same way, you have to do fixed overheads adjustment, administration overheads adjustment, selling and distribution overheads adjustment. Cost. Okay, you will solve it in homework. Actually, this is the work problem. This is the classroom discussion problem, and this is your ultimate homework problem. So I am going to give some brief idea with respect to how you are going to solve this. Try to solve it. If you are unable to solve, I am going to discuss in the class itself. No worries. So you have to try on first phase. Okay. So this is all with respect to illustration number 6. So this is, I think you received the books from institute. Don't have books. Do one thing. This illustration number 6, I'm going to share you in your Telegram channel, Group 1 Telegram channel. Everybody got access to Telegram channel, right? Or no? So in your Telegram channel, I'm going to share this problem. Try to solve the problem, and I think by Monday I'll ask. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. By Monday I'll ask. Okay. Most probably my session will not be there for tomorrow. Have our session on Monday. Today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you will get gap. This gap you try to solve this illustration number 6. This illustration I'm going to share with you all in your Telegram channel. And you know how to download your ICMA resources, you know. Go to ICMA resource, ICMA website students portal, and thereby you can download your paper number 5, 6, 7, 8 group 1 materials and all. Okay. So this is the homework problem. This thing I will share. Try to solve by Monday. I'm going to ask all of you on Monday. And one more thing, most important thing. Monday I'm going to ask each and everyone with respect to cost sheet. Each and everyone should be able to answer question. Teja, I'm going to ask you specifically. Okay. So if anybody unable to solve answer to the problem, they will face imposition. Use imposition on Monday. Why? Because you will get 2 days time. You will get ample amount of time to revise the entire concepts which we have covered in our previous syllabus also, previous sessions also. And what is your name, ma? Madhulika. You please try to cover the previous sessions. They are available in YouTube as well. Okay. Hardly it will be 2 to 3 sessions. I think this is class 4. Okay. Try to watch all the classes by Monday. Teja, and inform to Sai also. Right. That's all about today's session. We'll discuss next session. This is your homework problem. Right.